Social justice on the continent, an African academic has been selected for the prestigious International Ford Foundation International Fellowship based at Columbia University in the United States. It's a new kind of fellowship program for social justice leaders from the world's most vulnerable populations in Asia, Africa, Latin America, the Middle East and Russia. Kwa-Zulu Natal Director of Arts and Culture, Dr. Rajendran Govender, has been selected to represent Africa. He joins us now from our Durban studios. Good afternoon, Doctor. Thank you for your time on the SABC News Desk.
Good afternoon, Keshti, and good afternoon to the viewers.
This fellowship very much geared toward grassroots level. Just give us a little bit of insight into the selection process, Doc. It's interesting that it prioritizes social commitment over the traditional criteria we're used to.
Yes, basically Columbia University in New York have recently launched the Ford Foundation International Fellowships Digital Archive. Now this portal is very, very important as it provides access to tons of information that have been recorded and archived. Since 2001, Ford Foundation have been given PhD and Master's Fellows to people from all over the world, and over 4,300 people benefited and over 1,800 from Africa. Now this digital archive is recording all the research that have been done so far.
Doctor, social cohesion and nation building, of course, very much on the national agenda for now. Your PhD with the Ford Foundation focused on cross-cultural studies between Hindus and Zulus locally as a tool for nation building. Just tell us a little bit more about this.
Yes, basically, being employed in arts and culture environment, it was absolutely necessary for me to understand the different communities better. So that when I commenced with my master's study, I did research based on Zulu and Hindu marriage systems. And so when I did my PhD, it was a continuation of the rituals and practices of these two very, very important cultural communities. This time I did death rituals and ancestor worship. And this grant was given to me by Ford Foundation, like they did with many other people that have come from disadvantaged communities throughout the world.
Let's quickly talk about the need for caliber leadership on the continent right now. We have on his role of luminaries, if you like, global peace icon Nelson Mandela, Botswana's first president Seretse Khama, Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe. Many of these legacies of these particular men and women interwoven with the struggle for freedom and democracy in our country. But we are seeing a very unhealthy pattern emerging whereas presidents' terms expire, and we've seen it happen over and over again in Africa, where ruling parties have difficulty in accepting legitimate opposition even. So how parties engage in a more pluralistic political environment really key here, and this is why your study becomes so pertinent at this juncture.
Yes, because basically 6 people have been awarded these grants to go and conduct research at Columbia University. Now I am representing South Africa and Africa as a whole. And what I've proposed to the research committee is that there were over 1,800 academics that were given research grants by Ford Foundation. And the whole program had a deadline, 10 years, and that's the process that has been completed. Now my research is going to be looking at all the research activities, what were the students doing before they had achieved the status of becoming Ford Fellows, what research they have undertaken, and where are they placed now. Because basically, many of these people have not been very well placed. So the whole process of my research initiative is to determine how we can help the researchers in the 10 African countries, how we can develop their leadership, how we can develop social justice, because by being Ford Fellows, they've been given a very, very good foundation, and now we need to take it a next step. And that is basically the whole focus of my research, because like you mentioned, that in Africa, we need to take this continent to a new level. And the only way we can do that is to assist all those academics and researchers to unpack what they have researched and put it into practice.
Very quickly, the Africa Regional Association for Leadership and Social Justice, a vision you have. Why do you feel that there's such a crucial need for this at this juncture?
There's many problems that the continent of Africa is confronted with on a daily basis. Now, these 1,800 academics that were beneficiaries of Ford Foundation, I will be initiating, together with a whole lot of other students, the Africa Regional Association for Leadership and Social Justice. This forum will be in a pivotal position to assist the different countries in the African continent to transform their agendas, whether it's economic, political, social, cultural, and various other agendas, so that the African continent can be, raised up a level so that we can be competing with the rest of the other continents in the world. And I found that it is absolutely necessary to work with researchers and academics in order to achieve these objectives.
Dr. Rajendran Govender, thank you for your time on the SABC News Desk. He's the Director of Arts and Culture in Kwa-Zulu, Natal. Let's move on to some other news now. Following a wave of strikes, civil unrest and a high-profile court case against Pastor Mawarire, a French diplomat has warned that Zimbabwe's leaders to heed its citizens